In this world of ours, there are many great colas. Coca-Cola, with Oreos in apparently. Pepsi. Bar. There's one thing though about cola, which I think everybody will agree makes it very bad. I know it's not the potential sugar content if you don't get the sugar-free stuff, or I guess the artificial sweeteners that might also be bad inside these things. It's not the caffeine, it's not all the other horrible stuff that goes in, no. The problem with cola is it's just too damn easy to get. Oh, you just walk to the shop and you can just buy cola, sell it every shop, it's all over the place. So I thought, you know what, let's make cola more difficult to have. This is a strong introduction. I'm making cola today. I have always thought to myself, what is cola? What actually is the flavour that goes into cola? I always thought it came from a plant that was called like the cola plant, although I think there's a cola nut that I thought the flavour came from. But I looked up recipes online and some of them don't have the cola nut in or cola plants in. They're made of these ingredients I have right here. Apparently you make cola by putting a bunch of random fruit and sugar into a pan and then mixing it with fizzy water. That appears to be the cola recipe. There's a bunch of ingredients that I just don't have because I couldn't get it. One of those is apparently you can put in coffee bean powder. So it says green coffee bean powder, which is how you get caffeine in it. I don't have that, so it's going to be caffeine free, which is good because baby needs his sleep. The other thing I don't have is something called browning sauce. So this is apparently a sauce that you use to make it darker. It's not going to be cola coloured, but hopefully it'll be cola flavoured. Or at least taste nice. If it tastes bad, then this is a fucking waste of time. At least if it doesn't taste like cola, but it tastes like weird sugary fruit juice, at least it'll taste nice. Okay, we have to stir things in a saucepan over a medium heat. But I'm going to combine them here because otherwise you won't be able to see. The first thing it says is 4 cups of filtered water. Tap water I'll have to do. You know what, I'll filter it through my hand and then we can say it's filtered. I'm not going to do that actually, because if I give this to any of my friends to try and they know I've poured it through my hand, they're not going to be very happy. Okay. Yep, smells filtered to me. To people like my mug. Fluff you, you fluffing fluff. Great mug. The juice and zest of 1 lemon. Chop in half. I probably should have put a cutting board down. Do I have that? Where's that little one? And then I need to juice them and zest. Wait, it would have been easier to zest them before. Fine. Look at this beautiful zest. So if lemon is a primary ingredient in cola, does that mean that all Coke is lemon Coke? So what we currently have is zesty water, but don't worry, it's going to get even more zesty as I squeeze the juice out of my lemons. I don't know what it is, but I am kind of like this in real life. I am a bit silly, especially if I'm in a good mood, I'm a bit silly, but for some reason, when there's a camera in front of me, I just can't help but make weird noises or do weird things because, and I've said this on stream as well, like if you've not seen me streaming, I stream on Twitch every now and then. On stream, I feel like I always have to be doing or saying something because people are watching and they're expecting content. They're expecting entertainment. So even in a bit of the game or in a bit of the stream where there's like a little bit of a lull, I feel like I can't be quiet. I have to make noise or speak or make a comment or say something. And so the same thing applies when I'm making a video like this, where I feel like there can't be any dead air. Even if I'm doing something during that air, there can't just be any dead air. I have to make a noise. You're the zest around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. Simply the zest. To be the zest, you got to pass the test. You gotta make it all the way to the top of the mountain. Then we'll do it again. Here's a debate for the comments. What do you prefer, Pepsi or Coke? For me, usually Pepsi Max is my go-to. However, there are days when I'm craving the Coke. Oh, if anybody's wondering as well why I've got a Coca-Cola t-shirt. So it was either Christmas last year or the one before. I said to my mum, one of the things you can get me is joke t-shirts. For some reason, to my mum, who's probably watching this, a joke t-shirt is one with Coca-Cola on it. Does it smell like cola yet? No. I feel like I have to make a noise. Maybe I should make different noises each time, and then people will be like, why is he making that noise? Does he make that noise? Or I need to pick a stupid noise, but do it every time, so people think that that's my noise. That's the noise that I make when I do things. So what I'll do is I'm just gonna slice this orange, and then I'll be like, I'm just gonna juice the orange. This isn't juicing, it's just turning into a mush. Oh, I'm just too strong. Be gentle, like a Swedish lady. Does anybody ever watch regular, ordinary Swedish mealtime? This is a blast from the past. The videos will still be up, people can still watch them. Maybe I'll put a clip in. The concept behind it, so Epic Mealtime, which obviously people are more familiar with. Epic Mealtime was a YouTube series where this group of guys just made these ridiculously over-the-top meals, and it's like, oh, it's epic meals, and they throw out bacon and everything, like, more bacon! These guys made this channel that was called Regular Ordinary Swedish Mealtime. And the joke behind it was meant to be that every Swedish mealtime is epic, even if they're only making basic stuff. What they would do is they would cook very vigorously. They'd scream the ingredients in Swedish, and they would chuck it as hard as they could across the room. They chop things up with an axe. Like, they had a literal, a battle axe, and they would be chopping stuff up. They would always take a break in the middle to just eat mayonnaise out of the jar. And just grab a jar of mayonnaise with a spoon and just spoon it into their mouth. The mayonnaise, eating it, and then look at the camera and go, it's good for you.
That is good for you. And for me.
Okay, so juice and zest, 3 cinnamons. Wait, no. Yeah, 3 cinnamon sticks. 1, 2. Oh, there's only 3 in here. Oh. Okay, next is, it says 2 tablespoons of dried orange peel. Well, here's some I prepared earlier. I dried myself some orange peel, as you can see. That's going straight in. It's not looking particularly pleasant at the moment. It's looking like... it's just looking like stuff floating in vomit. So this is the current state of the mixture. It's just a mysterious, slightly greenish, yellowish pool of detritus. Okay, so this is the thing that I found really strange. So apparently, you're supposed to put coriander seeds into this. Now, I'm one of those people who, for me, coriander tastes horrible. Apparently, it's a genetic thing. Yeah, it tastes horrible to me, but I do try and use the occasional bits of coriander in dishes. So many things, like, you lose a lot of flavour by not being able to eat a thing. So I've tried to make myself, get used to the flavour of some of the things I don't like, because then at least I can experience dishes. There's a lot of Mexican and Indian food that requires coriander. So next up is half a teaspoon of ground or finely ground nutmeg. Half a teaspoon doesn't feel like a lot when I've got 4 cups of water and a bunch of zest in here, does it? Will a lump do? Yeah, lump's fine. 4 cups of sugar. Cups of sugar. This is why these drinks are so unhealthy. Part of me's wondering whether I'm supposed to be pouring this into the warm water after I've heated it up. Otherwise, it's not going to dissolve properly, is it? Also, I might not have enough for 4 cups. I thought this would be plenty, but I guess not. Okay, so cup of sugar number 1. Fuck me. Okay, so this is cup number 2, and I'm nearly at the bottom of my bag of sugar already. I'm going to have to get different sugar. Now that's empty. So stir all of this shit together. Bring to the boil, remove from the heat, and then you add the juices, but I've already done it. I can add the vanilla extract at the end, and then you have to let it cool a bit, and then put it through a strainer, and then transfer it to a jar. That's it. That's all it takes. Should I get a little spoon of it out now and see what it tastes like? Let me guess, it's going to taste like horrendously fruity sugar. Fruity sugar. And then I now need to add a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. And this is special. This is Madagascan vanilla. It's not just any old vanilla. This vanilla came all the way from Madagascar. Madagascar, where the vanilla flows like wine. So, according to the recipe, it's done. Right, well, I guess I'm just going to leave that to cool down a little bit. So, I guess I'll leave maybe for, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes. Now I'll come back and I'll do the strainy bit on here so that it can go everywhere and everybody can laugh at me. And then once we've done the strainy bit, we can pour ourselves a cup and we can do a taste test. And that, I know that's the bit that everyone's excited about. So I'll see you in, well, for you it's going to be a split second, but for me it's going to be a bit of time. Oh, what I should do is I should put a fake beard on and a wig and come back in a different shirt and be like, it's been 20 years! It has finally cooled down!
2,000 years later.
It's cooled down enough now where I think I can start pouring. So what I've got is I've got myself the biggest jug I have. I've got a sieve, which I'm hoping is fine enough. Here we go. Am I going to fill this up? Okay. Cola. I reckon it's time for a taste test. There's no point in spending all this time making cola if we're not going to drink some. So, let's get a glass. You know what? To add insult to injury, let's use a Coca-Cola glass. Ah, cheers. Shit. In fairness, it's not horrendous. It does taste a little bit like a cola-y kind of taste. But it's a lot more bitter than I was expecting. I'm not sure where the bitterness is coming from. I guess maybe the immense amount of fruit, like the citrus. Like, it's not a horrific drink. It's not bad. It just doesn't taste like as I was expecting it to taste of like cheap cola. Because you would imagine cheap cola is just a bunch of ingredients thrown together in a vat. It's drinkable as a drink. There's nothing wrong with it. It's very fruity. Like cola. I mean, cola is sort of fruity in itself, but it's extremely fruity in a way that's very much like you can just tell it's just a mixture of fruit. Honestly, I'm mildly disappointed because I was at least hoping it would be cola, but I've not made a terrible drink. I've had a go. I've learned, right, if you understand the quantities and ingredients and stuff and you know what goes in it, it's the kind of thing that would be very simple to make. And the amount it actually makes, it would probably be quite beneficial to make your own. So if you have a recipe or you know a good recipe where you can bung everything in, mix it together and it makes a big drink, then feel free to let me know. Because I do think that it would be a very good way of getting like a large quantity for a low price. Anyway, I hope people enjoyed this little experimentation. And I hope anyone out there who knows how to do this or does this regularly or just generally does cooking regularly isn't sat there laughing their tits off at how badly I messed all of this up. There's drips everywhere. I don't have the right kit to do a lot of this stuff. I'd like to do more cooking, but I don't have all of the right tools. But no, if you enjoyed this, there's probably going to be an extended cut of this on the Patreon, because that's what I'm trying to do now. These videos tend to record for a very long time. This one will be over an hour altogether. And what I do is I hack it to pieces to get the absolute minimum best stuff so that it provides a fully entertaining experience throughout. But there is always extra stuff that I would cut out of a shorter video, but I would leave in a longer video. And so that's the kind of stuff where if you go on the Patreon, you get to watch some of that. Like, I don't know how many of the times I was singing songs about zest I'm going to put in. No, anyway, here's to cola that you buy in bottles at the shop and all this shit.